Hey guys, Angus here, bringing another Airsoft video today. As you can see, not alone on the camera yet again today. Got my squad sniper here, Mike. This is his rifle we're going to be reviewing today. This is the KJW M700P, the police model. This is a gas bolt-action sniper rifle, and if you're interested in purchasing it after watching the review, there'll be a link down below in the description to airsoftstation.com. You can purchase this gun for about $185. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the review of the KJW. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the packaging of the gun. As you'll see, it'll come in a rather long cardboard box, as it is a sniper rifle. Just a little bit flashy lettering on here, KJ Works M700P bolt action airsoft rifle. And besides that, it's basically just a cardboard box. Now, inside of it,
you got, this is, it's an old-fashioned speed loader for the mag. You just put this on top and you put the BBs in there, and it comes with the Allen key to help take it apart. And 200 KJW BBs, don't use them, especially not in a sniper rifle.
They are .2, you won't hit anything. As you said, we're missing the manual here, and then of course you do have the rifle itself, so we're going to go ahead and take out the rifle and get into the actual portions of the review. But packaging wise, you have nice styrofoam packaging. It's a cheaper styrofoam, but I doubt this thing will break during shipping because it's rather packaged decently well. Alright, so as you can see, now I've got the KJW M700 outside of the box, so as usual, we're going to go ahead and go over the external construction of the rifle. Now, it's built of a very, very solid polymer, and basically the entire body here, this entire black portion of the handguard here, as well as the stock, that's the solid polymer. It's not ABS plastic, it's extremely durable, very, very solid. It's also got a little bit of texture to it, so it's a little bit more comfortable in your hands. Now, besides the body of the gun, pretty much everything else on here is constructed of metal, which it really has to be considering it is running propane through the gun, and that's what's propelling the BB out of it. So a lot of the pieces on here do have to be metal, such as your bolt assembly here, your 20mm rail up top, the outer barrel, the inner barrel, your trigger guard, all your mechanics down here with your magazine, as well as your magazine, and your sling mounts. Now, external construction, this is a very, very solid rifle. It's about 7-8 pounds, very, very durable construction with the solid polymer as well as the many metal pieces on the gun. Now, Mike here's done a couple upgrades to the gun, so I'm going to go ahead and have him talk about the internals of the rifle.
Alright, well first off, as he said, everything is metal, especially on the inside. Being a gas rifle, everything has to be metal. For upgrades, I got a 6.01mm barrel because the one it comes with stock is like 6.1. It's a very big stock barrel. It's not that great, so I went ahead and I got that, which will increase your FPS a lot and give you a lot better accuracy. Second thing I upgraded, I got the King Arms hop-up bucking for it. Not 100% necessary, just another thing that helped, and right now it's shooting about 580 FPS with .2 gram BBs.
Yeah, so like he said, with the increased FPS, what he usually shoots is .30s, which you should be shooting out of a sniper rifle. I believe we saw like 490 on the chrono when we shot it. So, real quick, would you mind going over some of your experiences with the rifle? Has it been reliable in the field, all that?
When it's warm out in the summer and spring, it is extremely reliable, and it will be consistent with gas-wise. You can get about 4 mags in one gassing of it. When it starts getting into fall and winter, you should really use a different gun, because with propane, when it gets colder, it won't work as well. It'll start to not be gas efficient at all, which goes with all gas weapons. So this will be great for long ops or anything during the summer, but when it starts to get into fall, when you're going to have to use a different gun.
Alright, so as you can see, we just got some personal opinions on the rifle after someone who's used it quite an amount of time, and we also talked about the external and internal construction, so let's go ahead and get into some of the features of the KJW M700. Alright, so now, features on the gun, of course you get your main feature here. It is a gas bolt action sniper rifle, so of course you do have your bolt. As you mentioned earlier, it is constructed of metal, and the way it works, you do have to pull it back, push it forward, and that'll cock the gun so you can fire. Now, Mike's going to go over some interesting things about the bolt that you wouldn't see with some other spring action sniper rifles.
Alright, well for starters, since it doesn't have a spring to pull back, you don't have any tension whatsoever with pulling it. It's literally just this part that moves. And the other thing is you don't have to pull it all the way back to load the BB. If you want to be really fast or need to be, you can pull the bolt to about here and then close it again and take your next shot. Another interesting thing is this little button right here shows you when you're actually loaded or the bolt has been cocked back. When you shoot it, it goes in, and when you pull it back out again, it sticks out.
And from what I've seen with pulling it, it's honestly a very, very smooth bolt. It's just, as you believe you stated, if you pull up on the bolt a little bit, it'll rub against the top rail, and that'll give you quite a bit of tension when you pull it back. But otherwise, it's a very, very smooth bolt. And as you mentioned with the nice button there, I think that's a really cool feature to let you know when the gun is cocked. That's a nice feature for safety, and also a nice feature in the field, so you don't know if you only half cock the gun. Like usually, you have to push the bolt all the way down in order to cock the rifle. And just pulling it back a short way is honestly a really nice thing because you don't have to waste valuable fractions of seconds pulling the bolt all the way back. So while we're up here near the bolt, let's go ahead and talk about the rail here. Now the rail here, of course, you can mount an optic on here. Since it is a sniper rifle, you do want to mount an actual scope. I really wouldn't want you to mount a red dot or something up here stupid like that. It's the Picatinny rail mount, same one we saw in the Javelin M24. So you can go ahead and mount a nice scope up here, and also right here, this small round piece. That is your hop-up adjustment. Now, how do you adjust that? You adjust it with an Allen key, I believe?
There is an Allen key hole, but you can just turn it with your hands. You turn to the right to get more hop and to the left to less hop.
And with a sniper rifle, of course, you want a precise hop-up on this gun. As he mentioned, he did put a different bucking in there. I believe it was the King arm. So, just to basically talk about the entire bolt area, let's go ahead and move on to the magazine. One last thing before we move to the magazine, we're going to talk about the gun's safety, which is located just next to the bolt, as with a lot of sniper rifles out there. With me personally, this is a yes-no safety for me because I'm always afraid when I pull the bolt back, I'm actually accidentally going to knock the safety to the on position, but most of the time that really isn't going to happen unless you have really big fingers that are going to hit it.
Going with what Angus just said, you don't have to worry about that because when the bolt is not cocked back, the safety will not turn on. You have to cock the bolt to turn the safety on.
That is a very interesting feature, and I didn't know that, so thank you for correcting that with me. And honestly, I like that a lot better now. Now I don't have to worry about accidentally knocking off with my finger, because my hand won't be really near the bolt when I'm aiming down my scope and about to pull the trigger because my gun's cocked. So I like that about the M700, that I don't have to worry about my finger accidentally hitting it. So I do like the safety on this sniper rifle, which is something you won't hear me say very, very often. Let's go ahead and move on to the magazine. Alright, so onto the magazine. As you can see, we're missing this. I forgot to bring the magazine with him, but of course it is a metal magazine. KJW M700 magazines. They are a little bit expensive. I believe you said they're $40 for the magazine, which that's true of basically any gas rifle magazine you look for. I feel bad for those guys who run out there with the gas blowback assault rifles by WE, because those magazines are quite expensive. The magazine the gun will come with can be loaded via the speed loader. It's included, but you don't have to use that speed loader. It's a 10-round magazine, so you're getting 10 shots, which does mean you're probably going to need to spend the extra $40 and buy another magazine. But there is a Tanaka magazine available that has 30 rounds that fits the KJW M700. And that'll cost you about $80. So if you're looking to get a bigger magazine, save a little bit of money. I believe you're going to save $40. You don't have to spend another $40 on another 10-round magazine to make 30. You can just buy that magazine for $80, but that is a little bit hard to find. Magazine-wise, have you had any feeding issues with the magazine, any trouble issues with it?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I'd imagine that. Just the only thing you probably want to watch out for is if you did use this in the colder weather. Of course, the magazine's going to freeze up. It's going to happen with all gas rifles. And the magazine fits in pretty snugly. I don't think you've ever dropped it out in the field, have you?
No, because the way the KJW works is the fact that the mag won't drop out if the bolt is closed. You have to open the bolt for the mag to drop out. A lot like the real weapon, almost everything on this gun is a complete replica to how the real M700 works, or R700.
So, magazine-wise, I don't think this will be dropping out on you on accident, and I think it'll be a very, very secure magazine. The only con about the magazine being 10 rounds, you're probably going to need to get some spare magazines. But if you pick your shots correctly and are a very good sniper, you won't need a spare magazine.
Again, a lot like the real gun, the KJW M700 comes with 3 different sling points. Except they're not really sling mounts, they're just knobs with holes through them that are too small for a sling. So I just took these keychain rings and put them through the front and the back, and then I put my sling on these. Now for the front one, again, a lot like the real gun, you have 2 options. You either have to go to a sporting goods store and buy a real steel bipod, or you have to buy a $50 to $60 King Arms bipod that does use these. Kind of a con for me because you can't go and buy a UTG, bipod for I don't know, $20 to $30 I would assume, because those use a rail only and it doesn't use these little knobs. So kind of a con, but more realism. So if you're a realistic kind of buff person, then it's good for you.
Alright, so as you can see, covered all the features on the sniper rifle. Being a sniper rifle doesn't have too many different things on here you can discuss. Let's go ahead and get into the final conclusion of the KJW M700 review. Construction-wise, you get a very, very durable construction of this thing, constructed with a very hard polymer. As I mentioned with the Javelin M24, this is a little bit thicker on the stock, not quite as thick as the M24, but it still is a little bit of a thick stock on here, so if you have smaller hands, this might not be the most comfortable thing to hold. But the polymer on the gun is very, very durable, and besides the stock and the handguard here, and basically your body or your rifle, pretty much everything else is constructed of metal, including your outer barrel, inner barrel, bolt assembly, trigger guard, sling mounts, all that different stuff. And external construction-wise, it's a very, very nice quality. This sniper rifle made by KJW, basically a clone of the Tanaka versions. It's a very, very nice quality gun. Now, internal-wise, like Mike said, he did put a couple upgrades in here, a new barrel, new hop-up bucking. He said the barrel is a little bit more of a necessity than the hop-up. So you can go ahead and do some upgrades to this thing if you wanted to, make it a little bit better, raise the feet per second for your field, and if you want to be sniping at longer ranges. Feature-wise, Mike explained quite a few things about the bolt here. It's a really nice feature that you don't have to pull the bolt back all the way. You can just move it back a slight bit and then place it down in order to cock the rifle. And I like how that button comes out to let you know when the gun is cocked and when it's not cocked. So if the button's inside, it's not cocked. If the button's outside, it is cocked. The safety, I like how it can only be on when the bolt is cocked. That takes away that fear of when I pull it back, I'll accidentally knock it onto safety. And that was a really interesting thing to me. The hop-up up here, I kind of think that's a little annoying considering if you have a scope on, you really wouldn't be able to adjust it with the Allen key. You'd have to turn it, which you can turn it, so I'm supposing that negates that effect. And the rail mount up here, of course, you do want to put a scope on here so you can actually be a very accurate sniper with the gun. Magazine-wise, it's a 10-round gas magazine. If you're buying spare magazines, it's going to be expensive. $40 for another KJW 10-round magazine. You can go ahead and spend $80 and get the 30-round Tanaka magazine. So magazine-wise, it might be a little pricey for you, especially since it is a gas rifle. It's really not going to operate in the cold. So if you're looking at buying this, I'd recommend you be someone where it's pretty warm most of the year, perhaps in down south. Probably where we are, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, is the limit, considering you go up a bit higher in the winter and fall. It's going to be a little bit too chilly for the gun. But hot weather, this thing performs excellently. And overall, I'd say this is a very, very nice rifle. For $185, if you're looking for a gas sniper rifle, this is direct clone off the Tanaka. I'd say this is a very, very nice rifle to get. So if you're interested in purchasing it, link down below in the description to airsoftStation.com. You can purchase this for $185. Thank you very much for watching.